Welcome to the zone where geeks collide, where comics and heroes come alive. Marvel, DC, Starfleet in the mix. Lightsabers flash, we're nerding out quick. Rican's the name of the show. Dive into the worlds you already know. From the big screens to the comic store. Super stories and so much more.
Where are they?
I don't know. It should have been here by now.
Yeah.
You would think, because they the one that brought us here. They invited us here. Like, we came all the way from nothing.
I took their transportation. They're not here.
For real, we came all the way from Jersey for this.
Two?
Well, I see you might be
To the engineer, I'm never being in a seated position again on a female, right?
Not fun.
Not fun. At my age, I wouldn't be bending my back that way. More.
Well, it seems like you actually broke the Prime Directive. I'm curious, where are we right now? What is this verse? We are the Boricua Verse. So you love hearing about streaming in the world, so tell us about the Boricua Verse and how this came.
So it all started in 2023. I debuted my costume.
So my sign.
And so the day of the parade, well, actually the day of the festival, I went to the festival and I ran into Louis, who was a Miles Morales, and then Louis ran into Lindsay, who was a So after 2023, and we look back online, we're like, wow, there are several cosplayers that are Puerto Rican that I like to represent. So we thought, hey, for the next year, why don't we get together and we do the parade together, because we're all representing the hero. After being acknowledged online, we have another Miles Morales fighting, and we had a brand new Woody who is, skit.
Official Spider-Verse going on, right?
Yeah. And then in 2024, we marched together, and from there, it just kind of domino effect, and many people enjoyed us, and we started creating their own.
Now, you wind up, and I saw you from last year, from the outtakes on Instagram, but then seeing you with a float a year later, and I mean, a lot of people. What I'm talking about, you had a Vader, you had, well, I don't know if you had the Batman there, but that's something else. But there was you, there was you, there was you, there, and Boricua, there were two of you. I remember there was another woman who was just as Miss Boricua.
There were several.
There were several.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was throughout the whole parade.
So I was counting, maybe I just counted 12, maybe 13 people on the floor, as well as you as the others on the floor. So I'm like, that is a huge, huge leap in that respect. So it's safe to say that the popularity has grown so much within the last parade to this one that it then escalated to, yeah, you need to float. You need to represent in that respect. And I was like, when I see you float, I'm like, wait, she got float? How did that happen? Because I have a friend of mine who's also a family member on Team No Sleep, Blue, and he has his float. But it took him maybe 4 years, I would say. But this is, him doing his thing like you, and building and building and building, and then bam, now he's got a float.
Yeah.
You, it's almost like an overnight sensation, to say the least. And that is remarkable because when it comes to cosplay, like me myself, I've been going back maybe 30 years when I think about it, it wasn't like as celebrated as it is today.
Even when I was in high school, I was made fun of. I was telling my dad, I made my first medical headband. It was out of a can of like Coca-Cola, a t-shirt, some glue, and like a dream. it's so weird now. Like now, it's such an open community. A lot of people are more accepting and are really curious about it. But back then, it's like you got made fun of for.
Yeah, I think that was in my era, being made fun of, being chased, to the point where you did one of two things. You grab your gear, when you we went to what we call the creation conventions for Star Trek. That's where the first cosplayers came on there. We're talking about Vulcans, Klingons, Tellarites, and even a Ferengi or two there. That's like elaborate makeup, and that was like the first time I did that.
And you can't order it on like Amazon.
No, this is something that they actually went to school, learned it, and then bought the stuff to make the cast and the molds. The cast and the molds to actually create the face and the makeup and stuff. There's one guy I still come across that's called the German Spock. Right? He, if you will come across it and comment on it, and if you ever watch the original series, he is Spock, but he is Spock, and he wears every instant of every episode that they ever had. He'll come by 5 times. He'll be dressed as the Spock in a gangster outfit. He'll be dressed as the Spock with his cooking brain, and they use the machine. But when I say dressed as, I'm talking about exact. Ears, everything. He came one time as the Spock who just been brought back to life in Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home. And he's dressed just like, everything, because he's an actor. So when it comes to detail, you cannot tell the difference. You really can't. I would have thought I was standing next to another B-boy because he looked so much like him. So that's the kind of detail. But for me, back in those days, I didn't have that kind of, poor boy from the Bronx. So I had to do my dad with a Starfleet t-shirt. But I don't want to walk in the hood because I lived in 116 between 2nd and 3rd. So I knew when 55 was coming out. I come out like, oh, 55, and then just go over. But during the time you go into the creation conventions, it's like, okay, wrap it up, take it with you. Or the brightest of ideas that I ever had, put it on, then I put something heavy, something to cover it up. It's 90 degrees. I go into a hotel, I'm sweating bullets, and I have a big coat. In August.
We're willing to do things like that.
A lot of girls who the security finally stopped me, and he said, okay, guy, kid, what you got on the roof? And I had to literally open my jacket up, and he literally popping sweat. Sweat here. I'm dripping in sweat. It's like, I'm not dangerous, I'm just sweating.
But and on that note, and then tying into that, so I'm kind of curious, like, what got you guys into cosplay? That led you guys to this? Like, what was your first cosplay? Like, for me, it was Boricua and Battle Royale, who did a skit for my TV production class in high school, and so we got together, and then that just took off after that. And I was like, I really like this. So, what got you guys into cosplay, and then led from cosplay into, like you said, getting together, but led you to making these characters with the point of inspiration, and then getting into that?
So, starting with what got me into cosplay is video games. I went to video game conventions. So I love playing video games. So I did Squirtle, I've done Final Fantasy, different things like that. So just from that, it kind of evolved into going into Star Wars, and then, I want something that represents me, and then to something that's for me.
So yeah, we don't want to complicate it.
So I don't remember exactly what got me into cosplay, but I do remember.
How dare you?
This was 2016. It was a rough
Excuses.
time. It was 2016. It was a rough time. So I was in high school, actually. I was a sophomore, and
You feel old.
and at the time I was like, I love Marvel, but I'm like, okay, I wanna dress up as somebody that looks like me. And it was at the time it was hard because it was like, okay, I wanna find an Afro Latina that's like brown, and it was so hard. But I found America Chavez, and I'm like, who is this person? I have to look up more. So cosplayed her in high school, and then a lot of my friends who are also nerds were like, do it, just do it. And then another teacher who did cosplay was like, I did cosplay too, you should do it. And I'm like, I got so much encouragement, and then years, and then I'm like, okay, I have to focus on school because I'm gonna do did Raven. And then I think past the pandemic, I'm like, okay, I wanna do something different. I found La Boricua by accident. And I was like, who is this person? Once again, I'm finding new things. And then I'm like, okay, I have to cosplay her because she looks like me, and I can see myself in the character. And she represents the island. She fights for the island as well. Met the creator. And I think 2022, 2023, I think it was 2023, because I think I didn't debut her until I think that summer when. But yeah. It was a long year. That 2023 was a long year.
It feels like it's been a long year since 2020 period.
Yeah.
But I feel what you mean, yeah.
It was a long year, but I remember wearing the costume the first time at the festival, and then at not the parade. No, I think it was 2022. And I think, Comic-Con, because that's when I wore my white Vans. And then the creator was like, get the shoes on Amazon. Because they matched the outfit. So I'm like, okay. It did that. I'm like, okay, I see the vision. And I thought it was cute at the time. I'm like,
Straight from the source. Though, yeah.
yeah. And then I think at around the time I met Louie, and then I met Lily, and I was like, whoa. And at the time I didn't know it was Louie because I had a mascot. So I didn't know until he sent me the photo. I'm like, oh,
A literal superhero. You're like, I had no idea who this guy was.
Yeah, for me, I'm no faces. I don't remember names that well. So I'm like, I know the face. Just show me the face. I know where I'm going. And you didn't
See,
know.
she's saying in so little words, you're mysterious.
It's always like that.
That's the cool way to approach it. It's the mask.
Yeah, it's always
I
like
love
that.
him. Why? Because it's the mask.
I
The
get that a
mask has
lot.
so much appeal.
Oh no, I can imagine a lot of people. That we'll go back to that.
Right, okay.
I'm always so curious to like certain reactions and like that, but I don't know who wants to take the next.
Next question.
Your turn.
Well, as the oldest of the group, since I've been doing this for a long time, I've been cosplaying since 2012, which, again, that's long. My first experience with cosplay is my little brother. My little brother cosplayed before me. He did Left the Kid. He did I forgot another character. He did some couple of characters from anime. He did. My first anime. My first convention was an anime convention in New York. Before Anime New York happened, it was a New York Anime Festival in Jarvis, and I had so much fun. And I didn't think about cosplay. I just said, "Oh, it looks so cool." I just go to cons every week, every month, every year, whatever. So my first cosplay in 2012 was Scorpion for Mortal Kombat because I love Mortal Kombat. But in my mind, I want to be a Power Ranger. Like I want to get a Power Ranger suit because I'm a huge fan of Power Rangers. I've been watching Power Rangers since I was a kid, and took many years to get to that far. And my first Power Ranger suit was the Jetty, and everybody felt with that. So yeah, years go by. I created the Puerto Rican Border Ranger because of Lily. When I met Lily at the festival, like she said, I did Miles Morales, and we both did the festival and did the parade, but in a separate thing. I got in by saw me wearing my Miles Morales. They said, "Hey, just jump in." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I jump in, and I think I was walking some like teachers float type of thing, and I got in the float, and that was my first experience of the parade at the first time. I mean, I have done parades before, like I was in the Halloween parade, but never in my entire life I was in the float. So that was the start of the beginning of becoming part of the Boricua Verse because of Lily. So. But yeah, I've been doing this for a long time, and I guide everybody about the community, and yeah, this is how we all became a family. So
I love that family. But I guess we're gonna take a quick break, and
We'll take a
we're
quick break.
gonna
Do some
follow up
bills.
with you two on that same question next. And yeah, we'll be right back.
With more Puerto Ricans. Stay tuned.
Greetings to all parents seeking an educational and entertaining show for your child. Look no further as I am delighted to introduce you to Raiden's World. Hosted by the talented Raiden Laloma. This captivating show immerses young viewers in a world of imagination, science, and more, making learning a delightful experience. If you have Roku TV, simply download the LDM Network channel app or visit www.raidensworld.com for updates, games and more. Also stay updated by following the show on Instagram. Raiden's World is carefully crafted to engage children in a fun and educational manner, fostering their curiosity and love for learning. The show offers a unique blend of entertainment and knowledge, ensuring that your child's educational needs are met while they enjoy the wonders of Raiden's adventures. We invite you to join us on this educational voyage that promises not only to entertain your child but also to expand their horizons. It is the perfect combination of fun and learning, creating a wholesome viewing experience for both children and parents alike. So, why wait any longer? Dive into the world of Raiden's World today and witness the magic unfold before your eyes. Thank you for choosing us to be a part of your child's educational journey.
Welcome back to Ricans. We are here with the Boricua Verse, and we are breaking the Prime Directive and learning everything we need to know about them. So now, continuing from Origins, we have the Boricua Spider-Man.
A Spider-Man.
A Spider-Man. Sorry, I tend to have my English not very good looking, so I have to change it.
It's totally fine. So with me, when I started discovering cosplay was back when I was in high school. Around junior year is when I started watching them on Instagram. I think the first one that I ever saw was T Stunning Spidey, who's still going. He was mainly a Spider-Man cosplayer.
You just made me think back so far.
Blown away with what he did, and I'm just like, oh, people actually do this. And something that I wanted to really get involved with, especially being Spider-Man, because he was my all-time favorite superhero, and I looked up to him and his morals and what he stood for, especially when I discovered Miles and I saw him and read the comics. I was like, this dude's just like me. And when I got a little bit older, and during around late 2021, that's when I started cosplaying and just being Miles. And even though I was very antisocial, very camera shy, I tried to post up on Instagram, and I started to.
But the mask changed all of that.
I was about to say that the mask, I think, helps, yeah.
It's like, in contrast, like in the days when AOL and the computer came on board and AOL happened, and then all of a sudden you had chat rooms. And then people were
when ASL mean age, sex, and location.
And it changed everything, because now online you could say whatever you want because you have that total anonymity, because that's the mask. Nobody knows your face until they find your face. If that, with the internet now, they can.
Yeah.
But people say whatever they want because that's what they feel at that moment. In your case, it's like the introvertedness and that not wanting to be seen, but then the mask comes on. I want to be seen. I want to do this.
It's actually very Spider-Man coded, because he didn't feel
And I relate to
comfortable
him because
as
I'm
being
also
himself.
I'm also like that too. Like
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that I hate to see my face whenever it comes to pictures because I look weird. I'm a type of person. I'm a weird person. So once I put on the costume, put on the mask, I be in character, I just stand there and everybody be taking a picture. So I'm like, I don't have to do anything because I look cool. I look amazing. That's how I relate with him, because we are both like introverted as well.
So from that point, when you put Dawn on the Spider-Man for the first time, how did that feel?
When I first got my first legit suit, I felt like I was me, but I was also somebody else, something else, like something bigger in my eyes. Even though, like, when I take it off, I'm still me, but it made me feel strong. It made me feel confident. Like all the insecurities kind of just went away, and I can just be a character that I can represent, and I can live up to those characteristics of that person.
So in essence, and I usually compare this, who's seen the very first Superman, 1978, with Christopher Reeve?
Yeah.
Should. And you should. He's the best Superman for a reason. But there's a scene that it shows exactly what you're talking about. Like when he first meets Lois Lane, has the interview, and then they take her all around the city flying around. And at the moment when he comes back, he's Clark Kent. And he's standing and he's doing his Clark Kent thing. And then while she's in the back getting stuff, he takes off his glasses and then he stands up and he stretches out and says, Lois, I have something to say. And he took a moment to think about it, but then he gave it up, but then you see him just shrink right back down to Clark Kent. So in essence, that's that transformation that you take off the glasses and put on the mask. You're Miles Morales. You're going to embody him in every way that it is, because that's how much you love that character.
Yes, and in return, it felt like it was also helping my confidence when I wasn't Miles, when I was just me and just going about my very regular life. And I feel like with that, it helped me, and also it encouraged me to do more. And I kept doing videos. Eventually came to my first ever convention, Brooklyn Comic-Con, and that is when I met Lily for the first time. Literally, when I was walking, I was ready to leave. I was exhausted. I was ready to go. And as soon as I'm about to hit the exit, I turn and I see her in the full Boricua cosplay, and I was like, I had to get a picture of her.
The universe answered.
Right, exactly. And got a picture of her, got her contact info, and the rest was history.
That was the same day that I met Louis, who met Litzy.
Lily,
A chain reaction.
Domino effect.
That was my canon event.
Lily's the type of person when she sees us in Spider-Man, she's like, oh my god,
Oh my
She
God,
go
we
crazy.
freaked out. I was like, Maya!
Okay, like you said, it's a canon event. That's so crazy.
So Sasuke, were you in the middle of your first form when you wind up meeting any of them, or what? Give us your story.
Emoske.
I've always been, as a October baby, I've always been a big fan of like dressing up. I always loved Halloween, looking forward to it. I've been like dressing up as anime characters, video game characters, Power Rangers, and all sorts of stuff. And then in 2015, I found out that there was like a local anime convention happening nearby, and I'd always wanted to go to like a convention. So I grabbed one of my Halloween costumes because like just a few years prior, I started taking Halloween like really seriously, doing like SFX. I had like a lot of horror cosplays because I love creepypasta.
Okay.
Dear David was one of my favorite ones.
So let me guess, you were a fan of Fangora magazine? Have you ever watched it? Ever read that?
I was gonna say he might be too
It
young.
came back out. It came back out. So that's the horror magazine for me. It's like
Fangoria.
back in Fangoria.
It was
You'll
like
see the
all
movies.
the SFX stuff that was coming out. You could look up the news.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to see, like you. It's like I had this curiosity. It's like, how did they make that happen? Fangoria comes and says, oh, they have. Wow, that's how it's done.
For me, there's one game right now. He did a lot of like crazy SFX stuff. And he had like tutorials and stuff. I follow those videos. But so like I brought my like Irish Jack creepypasta cosplay to the convention, and that was like my first time really cosplaying. Then I didn't really do anything until like 2019, like 2018, 2019. I went, my cousin invited me to the Comic-Con. I think that was 2018. Then I went again in 2019, where I put together my first, or I guess like my first like official like custom cosplay. It was like Halloween.
It still counts.
It still counts. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta start
Cosplay is
somewhere.
cosplay. Costume play. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So then pandemic hit, and 2021 comes around, and I got really into cosplay. And I was like, I haven't cosplayed. It's been a few years. I really love this character, Nosuke. I really want to like cosplay him. I don't know how I would do it. And my friends and my girlfriend at the time, for my birthday, surprised me with the Nosuke head. Not this one, but like my first version. And I went to Otakon 2021.
Otakon, yes.
And that was still when Demon Slayer was like really low key, like before it really popped off, like season 4, so like whatever it was. And a lot of people loved my Inosuke cosplay. Like I was like one of like 2 or 3 Inosuke's at the convention. Where nowadays you find them everywhere.
Yeah.
So like,
He became like a gym bro inspiration. Like I know a lot of people who started working out because they're like, I want to cosplay this character and I need to get beefed up.
So like just the reaction that I got from like that made me feel like amazing. I was like, I want to do this all the time. And I just started going to conventions and like month by month every year. I don't even remember how I met Lily when it comes to
Actually,
That's so Inosuke coded too.
I asked him to join me at the parade in 2024 because his Instagram name had the word Boricua in it. And I'm like, if you're putting Boricua in your Instagram name, that means you're proud of it.
Yeah.
And he's a cosplayer that he's been traveling back and forth in Puerto Rico too, and like he's very involved in the community. So I was like, hey, I know like you're like a prideful Puerto Rican in the cosplay community. Why don't you come and join us? And then
That's pretty cool.
he took his favorite cosplay and transformed it.
Coincidentally, a little bit prior, I'm not sure if you know her, another Boricua creator, the Chef Eli.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah. I've seen that one yet.
She hit me up about potentially like going out to Puerto Rico with her and doing like a Taina shoot. But unfortunately, we couldn't make it happen. But I had already gotten this like from her.
Oh, okay.
So you saw the vision. You were like, wait a minute.
Because it was like really short notice for the Puerto Rican parade. So I was like, what can I do? Like Boricua apply in
Yeah.
such a short time? I was like, Inosuke is pretty simple. I'll use this instead of his pelt. I'll put a baba on the head. I'll get like at the time I got them machetes a little after. I was supposed to get them in time for the 2024 parade, but they couldn't come in time. So I put like a string of like Puerto Rican flags along the sword. So it's kind of like the breathing effects.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
So you mentioned the con in Puerto Rico, and I wanted to ask that because one of the well-known that I remember is Yaya Han, right?
Yeah.
And she opened a lot of doors.
Mine was Stripper Vash.
She's opened a lot of doors to different places that sometimes you would never have thought because is here in America. Boom, it's happening, it's growing. And then she, as a premier cosplayer and contest winner, and then becoming judge, then she's being asked. And then one of the places that threw me off, that I was like, wow, they have it there, was Brazil. Brazil has a whole con, huge con, and she, she's usually one of the judges in the cosplay that happens there. And then another one that I was mentioning before is Ivy Doom Kitty. She's another one also. She's even gone as far as touring with our father, the late great Stan Lee. Okay, she had toured many through the United States with him and Jason before he passed away. Yeah. So seeing those doors open. So how well received or how big do you see it? How big was it when you went down to Puerto Rico? So again, what sort of how can I say it? It's like what made you just go wow?
I'm gonna ask EJ because I kept watching him going to Puerto Rico. And the reason why I knew there was even a convention in Puerto Rico was because he was going there. And I was like, wow, there's conventions in Puerto Rico? So what made you?
You tell me. What blew you away from there?
For a few years, I've been seeing online advertisements for Puerto Rico Comic Con. I hadn't known that was a thing until I started getting advertisements for it, coincidentally. And finally, in 2023, I managed to convince my mom to take us out there for the con. And thankfully, again, because I promoted myself as a Boricua cosplayer, I did have a few Puerto Rican mutuals out there already. So we flew out there, got a hotel next to the convention center, and met up with some friends, and we went into the convention. Some friends from the island that were ready to meet me. And it was a lot of fun. I was completely blown away. Even though in comparison to New York Comic Con, it's pretty small.
I remember when New York Comic Con used to be with New York Anime Festival in the same. You would buy a ticket to one, $50 to $60 for the whole weekend. It was one on each end. Your face is hysterical. And this was before.
I was there.
Yeah, it was the whole weekend. Yeah, it was. I remember the big humble beginnings, and then when they finally separated and whatnot. Yeah, I used to buy a ticket to one, and you would go, and it'd be on opposite ends, and you had to literally run.
And it was a
to
big.
go
And it was the whole.
Or before that, when they had it on two different dates, that one date you had
Before
the New
that,
York
and then
Anime
they got
Festival,
together.
and then maybe 2 to 3 weeks after New York Comic Con.
And the reason why they joined because they were not making that much money separately, so they decided to join to make more money, and then they started making more.
Actually, Lance Fetterman, who runs New York Comic Con,
now
the same thing. also said, well, let's buy them out.
Yeah.
And so they bought out the New York Anime Festival. So Lance, being successful with New York Comic Con, made the Anime Festival just as successful, using the same principles that he did with New York Comic Con. Because if you actually study how everything is laid out and how it works, New York Comic Con formula works. Even as I was explaining it to her today, as her birthday gift, I gave her 3 passes for 3 days over at New York Comic Con. But she was like, "What do you do with these now?"
I was like, why do you have these now?
I know you've been hibernating, okay, but everything's more digital, everything's electronic, because a lot of people did complain, like back in the days when it was just the IGN theater, and I remember my godson, I took him to his first one. He came dressed as Wolverine. He got a costume, Wolverine. And I got him with pictures with cosplayers. One was the She-Hulk, and they're about to go at it, and he got the little claws. So this was the Avengers panel. So, of course, we're way in the back, right? And so each person coming out said, we got two. So I picked him up. 7 years old. I hold him over my head, and he's like
this. And no lie, it went like this. He said 2. He was like this for 2, and everybody looked. I had him over my head. All you heard was, Wolverine, Wolverine, Wolverine. And next thing you know it, they cleared the path, and we walk all the way through with them still screaming, Wolverine, Wolverine. And he's throwing up his claws and stuff, and we went in to go see the panel for Avengers. That's how powerful the
Yeah, I remember that. I remember the Avengers panel.
But that's kind of cool that Puerto Rico is now kind of like on that, because like cons as a concept from my dad's time to now my time are 2 separate different things, and now even now
I
it's
feel
completely different. So I'm so excited to see like that's building up, and that it is, like you said, like kind of on the equative of New York Comic Con. To me is, I think, phenomenal, and I want it to grow more. I would love to see it grow more.
Mira, espera. El viejo que venir aquí para decir, we be back more, not a Rican.
We gotta pay bills.
Pay bills. Thank you.
Come, let's play. Come, let's play. Fun is what we crave.
Let's go.
You're listening to New York City's LDM Radio. With another long stretch of continuous music.
Back into time. Flashback.
Make my move, gonna live my dream, gonna live my
New York City's LDM Radio.
The best radio station in the world is right here, right now.
Welcome back. After a little bath in the Lazarus pit, I've regained my youth again. And we were discussing at one point the Puerto Rican con, and you were telling me what blew you away about it. So, though it was small, but what else about it that blew you away?
So, of course, one convention where you can come across like quite a lot of Boricuas is going to be New York Comic Con. New York famously has a big population of Puerto Ricans.
Yeah.
But even then, like, if you're there, there's still people of all kinds, It's not just exclusively Boricuas. So to go to a convention.
Silence, minion! You'll come later in the outtakes.
That's his, what do you call it?
That's my alarm.
To wake up. I literally hear that at like 6 a.m. I'm like, what's going on?
I had to find the most annoying thing to wake me up, man. That's annoying. I felt like that minion. I'm just ready to go and just punch him out.
I have Enter the Sandman by Metallica as my alarm sound.
I have BTS.
So it's easy. So it's right to say that when it comes to a nerd, he's a nerd by his ringtone. Because I got that one. I've got Adam's Family with Lurch going, "You with the gong and you at work. People even coming back from lunch when they hear that tone. Oh, Mo's coming back from lunch.
I used to have the victory fanfare as my ringtone. And I was actually in a panel once when it went off because he was calling me trying to find out where I was in New York Comic Con. And I quickly was trying to turn it off, and the person running the panel said, "No, you stand up right now and you answer that phone and put my and it was like the girl.
My text tone for like years now is the Dragon Ball Z situation.
I had that on my phone too.
I've had that go off like in the middle of class, like dead telling you to.
That's great.
And at that moment, you're busting, you're trying to go,
oh no,
work!
I have the Power Rangers communicator sound effect, but somehow when it goes off around people, people confuse it for Kim Possible.
It sounds kind of similar.
And I'm just like, bro.
But there's a very
Kim Possible.
Kim Possible is what was it? Right?
Something like- yeah.
So, anyhow, distracted by the minions.
You know, one of the appeals of going to a convention is like you go there, you know that you're gonna be around a lot of like-minded people. Mm-hmm. Everyone's gonna be a nerd. Everyone loves video games, anime, cosplay, all kinds of stuff. So to go to a convention where like straight up everyone is like you, it's all Puerto Rican nerds. It's just like
heaven.
Yeah. It was,
I saw the light.
The energy too of it is completely unmatched. Everyone there is, you know, very vibrant, very happy to interact. You got a lot of like older generations too, so you got the abuelas, like,
yeah. I think what's so great about our culture to add to that too is because we're such a melting pot of, you know, as a culture that there's like so many variations. Like we bring so much to the table. So when we all get together, like it's always a riot everywhere I go. Whenever I get together with
it's like when I get together with my Star Trek friends, right? And then we're doing our photo day, and then we're standing there. It's like what, summertime again? And then we start reciting the Meatball song. Are you ready for the summer? Are you ready for the good times? And we're singing that, all of them. People are like, ooh, what they doing? And want to join in. Next thing you know, we got 30, 40 people singing that song, Meatball song, with us. But that's the beautiful thing about it, because there's no judgment. There is just people, just like you said, like-minded like you, who don't care, and they enjoy this, and this is their expression of it. I call it, for me, when every year comes and my boss says, okay, he's got Comic-Con week again. So yes, right. Every year, that's going to be my time off, period. That goes, you can take any other day. I don't even care about my birthday. I almost said it. Didn't. That's for you, Lou. But when I see Comic-Con, every year I mark those days down because I say, that's my pilgrimage. I start from here and I go, not on a camel, maybe a blanket, I don't know. Anything's possible. But that's why I know I'm going to be there pilgrimaging with every walks of life, and those that are not only from the United States but also overseas, because a lot of people I've come across come from different countries just for this. So it's like, if it's not San Diego Comic-Con, it's New York Comic-Con, and they're there, and that's where nobody's a stranger. You know, everybody recognizes themselves as Sasuke, and they're calling you out by your character name, and the next thing you know it, a conversation develops. Right. They go, Morphin time, brother, it's Morphin time.
Mastodon. Right, and maybe you guys can agree with this too.
So all of that, and then they look at you, and they'll just be like,
right. On that note, you know, when I wanted to do this, because you know, I'm proud of being Puerto Rican, and I wanted to find other Puerto Ricans that are in the community. And again, like you said, when you wear something that you enjoy, you attract those kinds of people. And that's how I started finding more Puerto Ricans in the community.
So have you ever come across someone that just looks at you and they don't say Mandalorian, or they don't say Mando, they go, I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in
one of the
cold.
funniest quotes that someone has actually quoted to you in your costumes, or
exactly.
Or funny interactions you've had with people because of your costume.
Like, it was got me, you know.
Oh, I can't wait to hear yours. Cannot wait to hear yours.
Right there. No, not everybody thinks I'm a Power Ranger. Everybody thinks I'm Super Puerto Rico or Captain Puerto Rico. I'm like,
what? Nah, we do get that a lot.
We get that a lot of mix-ups. So I'm like, you see, I don't have a morpher. I'm like, how am I Captain Puerto Rico? And I have a hammer on. That's a Power Ranger. How you call Puerto Rico?
Well, they always accidentally look at you and go, Mandalorian, right?
That's kind of dope. Get Captain America on accident.
Yeah, like, and I'm just like, well,
technically Captain America is from Puerto Rico. I'll fight anybody on that. That is the Puerto Rican flag on my man's chest.
Like exactly, like oh, I
You
get
know
that
what?
so many
It's
times.
the effort that counts.
Yeah.
And they see that we are a hero, like trying to represent. I'm like, you know what? A for effort.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
You're not giving A for effort.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
No.
Like you came up and you said hi, like so quickly. So kind of like going off of that. So like I remember when I first started, like I got my first like nerdy T-shirt. It was a Marvel T-shirt, and I was like so excited. I'm like, who's gonna come up to me and be like, I know what you're wearing? Not a damn person. Like my first like
No
thing or
one.
two. Then I started going out into public, and then people were like, oh, I like your shirt, or whatever. Like as a way to like, you start wearing things, you start collecting items and stuff like that. So like you said, wearing this was your way of getting to see other like Puerto Rican fans and stuff like that. Is there anything that you would like to kind of like incorporate to like get more people who are into like not necessarily like don't understand cosplay but would be like curious about it, be like, hey, like as a Puerto Rican fan, like maybe expand and try to like get more people interested in cosplay just by that aspect?
Yeah, I think just like us starting and like doing it together, you know, people are asking and going to festivals and parades, like places where it's not a convention, and they question, they're like, you know, what are you doing? Like, oh, how is this done? Like, you enjoy it and things like that, and you just start that conversation. Also, you know, putting yourself out there on the internet, and like the inspiration kind of just goes and then
Grows.
kinda,
It does.
Grows and then that's how it happened. They're like, oh, how? And you know, we receive messages like, you know, how do you join and stuff. And I'm like, well, you wear a character that you love and like make it yours.
Yeah, that's actually a good thing, because as I was telling Sam last night, it's like you represent what right now, at least in a sense of the world, really needs, because you know there is no judgment whatsoever. They're not going to say you're too skinny, you're too fat, you're too this, you're too that, you're this type of person, you're asexual. This no,
You're not Puerto Rican enough.
They see you as the Boricua Lorian. They see you as Miles Morales. They see you as a Power Ranger. They see you as Borinquen. They see you as Sasuke. But then, Sasuke, sorry. Hey, I got old lips. What can I say?
Yeah, you know, to Sandro, how he doesn't say his name
Oh,
properly.
okay.
I
You're not
thought
allowed to scream now, okay? Because I know that's what he does next.
that's not my name.
But in reference to that, it's like they see you as your character, and then the conversation that you say starts from that. And even once you take off your helmet, say, okay, she's like me. And then it goes, it's like when you're little kids, and before, you know, anything from influence outside all starts messing with your head, you're already seeing just who you are. You're human. I'm a human. You're human. We're all part of the human race. It doesn't make a difference who es Boricua, que sea moreno, que sea cualquiera. Still human race. You cut, you bleed like anyone else. But you have that understanding.
That unity.
Of that unity, exactly. That love for fandom. You have the love for fandom. You know, I wear this Starfleet uniform. I got several of them, but when I first wore it, again, it was just a T-shirt, but as you say, you embody the character. So I embody the principles of Starfleet and what they represent. You know, they're about hope for the future. You know, hope. Because one person said, and I saw it in the video, I showed it to her, somebody asked her, why Star Trek? And she's making up her makeup, she's making herself to look like a trill. She said, because if you look at most of the sci-fi shows that are out there, a lot of them are dystopian. We are at the end of the world. There are zombies all around us, or some sort of dictatorship that's happening in a galaxy far, far away. So we're basically surviving, fighting for survival. Star Trek said, after first contact, we just looked at each other and said, why are we fighting? Why are we doing this? Why? And then they started the road by first healing the sick.
Fun fact, the World War III started in 2026 and Star Trek ends in 2050. So we're on track to finally gaining unity, because that's how they gain it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that idea of unity and being together and seeing each other as, you know, equals, not so much as equals, but like, you know, we're all nerds, we're all coming here, and it's not like, oh, you're like, oh, you're weird because you like this. It's like, well,
And a lot of shows like Star Trek and Star Wars and even Power Rangers are the only shows that bring diversity when it comes with
Yes, they do.
who you are. You know, like when I see Power Rangers, like you see everybody from different backgrounds. I'm like, wow, I could be a hero like that too. And they continue on tradition throughout the years after that, and I say, you know what? Anybody can be a Power Ranger, anybody can be a Starfleet, anybody can be a Jedi or a Sith or whoever. You know, that's why us nerds see that, because it's like we relate to that character. We are that character, and once we out there, they see us, and we bring so much joy when it comes from the community. So that's why we do this, because we it's so much fun, but also we bring back positivity. You know, with stuff going around, today's society. You know, this is what we do. You know, we bring smiles in people's faces.
So I have another question, but before we do, we're going to take another commercial break. You know, pay some bills, say hi to other people, whatever. Stretch our legs about.
I might check on the ship.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
Maybe
So we'll be back with some more Puerto Ricans with the Boricua Verse. Stay tuned. So if you want. And we're back with more Puerto Ricans here with the Boricua Verse. And I do have a question, okay? Or more or less, I'm going to throw out a word, and I'm going to see how you feel about it, okay?
I was going to say smash. It was literally in my head. I was like, don't do it.
So we'll do that one. What do you call this? Oh my God. Okay, when they look up to you. I'm trying to remember the word now. When they look up to you.
Inspire. Idolize.
Idolize, inspire, admiration. So when, say, the small ones, the young ones, the young cosplayers, and they see you as the role models, you know, that you are the role model. How do you feel about being that role model? And I give him the eyebrow.
It's so true.
I feel like it's a huge honor because I was in those kids' shoes, and being able to be the one that they look up to inspires me to realizing that I've really grown from being this, symbol within the community, and I'm just, I'm just a simple nerd that's very passionate of what I do at the end of the day. And seeing that a lot of people look up to me, and I always constantly give out advice to people who, want to do more from cosplaying and stuff like that.
Just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Helping out.
That's how I look about it. I don't think much of it. At the end of the day, I'm just a guy that loves being a nerd, just loves being himself.
You?
So it's not something that I think about often, just because I still find it hard to view myself as someone that people look up to or idolize. Because I still just see myself as just you're average, just another cosplayer. But it is whenever someone does tell me, whether it be just another cosplayer or a kid, or a younger cosplayer, it certainly means a lot, and it just always I'll go to my parents or mom, and what this person said or something. It's also I always love. It's really cute when little kids at the convention someone that's in the education field right now. So I do work with kids and
Teach superheroes, future superhero.
I'm home, get to be going
He's doing an intern for Sky High.
Oh boy!
An internship for Sky High.
So cool.
You'll see little guys coming in with their little hugs.
Yeah.
First form. Just go into the first form, and that's it.
it's always again, it's not something that I view myself as admirate but I do my best
For me, it's similar. No, like I don't really see myself like inspire others, but I do see like I'm always a champion when it comes to like not just kids but also people with disabilities. When I see like someone in a wheelchair when doing cosplay, I cheer for that because it's like not all of us have to look the same. You know, like we all have very unique looks, and when I see that, it's like wow, like it shows that you guys are fighting and you guys are showing that you're out there having fun. You're not letting anybody judge you because I'm sick, I'm disabled, I'm walking in crutches or wheelchair, whatever. You know, I see that and I like saying yeah, keep doing what you're doing. 'Cause I'm a person. I'm born with a medical condition and I see kids like I was friends with, and they no longer here because they were, because of the conditions. So now, like as a cosplayer, I have been giving back to the community in the, like with the children, like doing charity work, going to festival, going to parade, because they see some like the cosplayer, like character like me with the not just Power Rangers but Spider-Man or any other characters like Star Wars or whoever, they see that they love that, then they say they again bring smiles to their faces, and it's all that matters.
And
Yeah.
Ms. Borinquen?
So, is the mic working?
Is
Is
you
it
have a
on?
red light?
It's working.
Oh, okay, I just want to make sure.
Remember,
I just
red-
want to make sure. 'cause
red
I was
is
like-
good.
Okay, let me just move my hand away from the button. Okay. Yeah. So when I started cosplaying, I didn't really think that was gonna inspire kids, because I didn't really like think of it at first. But when I was inspired by the Boricua, and then eventually, when I had done the parade myself the first time, I think a year before we did it as a group, I saw like eyes light up. You know what I mean? Like it was something very personal on the level where it's like you're healing in a way your inner child, because you have inspiration and you have somebody to look up to. Like, oh my God, I could do that too. And it feels different, and it's like in a good way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's so hard to explain, but I do a lot.
You're offering them something that you didn't have as a child. Like we didn't have that many cosplayers that we could look up to and be like, oh my God, like someone like, looks like me cosplaying characters and stuff like that. Like I know for me, like a lot of characters I didn't like have a chance to like see myself in and whatnot. So seeing other cosplayers and then also cosplaying and then seeing little kids come up to me like, oh my God, you're so cool. And I'm like, not really, but I'm glad that I can offer you that, because I wish I had that as a kid.
Yeah, and it was like it's like a sense of fulfillment. I like making people happy, and it's just something to give back. And that's why I also do like charity work with the creator, with Edgardo himself. So sometimes I go out and get invited to do giveaways, like Christmas giveaways and stuff, which is really cool. And it's like it's not only kids, which is the crazy part. It's not only kids; it's also adults. And the oldest, she passed away, I think, last year, or the year before. And she held my hand, like close, personal. And she was like, "I wish I had a superhero that looked like you when I was growing up." And that stuck to me to this day. So that I think that's also what keeps me going. It's also like the comments and the inspiration. It's just like a good feeling.
Really?
I definitely agree with listening everything she's saying, and like just the feedback that people say, and just they come up to you and they're like, listen, like what you're doing for the community is like something that we need, and it gives us purpose, and it drives us to keep going and keep representing and make people happy, and the kids too. When I was little, I didn't see like Puerto Rican heroes like that, so like I try to think in their point of view, like they're looking up and they're like, wow, like this is
Representation matters, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It does.
Exactly.
It does. I mean, when I wear this uniform, it's like I said, I represent what it means, and it's unity, it's inclusiveness. It's for the hope of a better future. So, and I've had many instances where, like I said, with people from around the world come, I actually had a family that was, I think they were from Mexico or they were from Chile. And they came up to me and says, "Can I take a picture?" I said, "Yeah, sure."
And I took a picture with the guy, and because he loved Star Trek, but he didn't really mention it, but he loved the uniform. He loved what it represents, and that's it. It's all in, like you say, in part of the representation of what you project as a character and as yourself, because we might play the character, but a lot of us is in that character, because we're not taking lines, we're not doing the show, we're out in the public, and we're engaging the public, we're making them laugh, we're making them happy, and we're getting them to join in our energy and dance and have fun. So it's partly us as well as the character. And on that thought, I will say that you guys, as I said before, represent exactly what this world needs, where the barriers across the line are blown away. And we can just look at each other and just say, Spider-Man, Boricua Lorian, okay? You have, a Power Ranger and a Demon Slayer, so why not? And a Boricua on top of all of that and say, hey, let's have a good time. And that's all that matters. So tonight we're going to be back on the next episode. We're going to find out best and worst cosplay moments.
And how. So yeah, this is going to be our final countdown until we meet again, right? Final countdown. Countdown.
It's the final countdown. Welcome to the zone where geeks collide, where comics and heroes come alive. Marvel, DC, Starfleet in the mix. Lightsabers flash, we're nerding out quick.